Hello and welcome to week 4 of the Take Flight program. All right, perfect. So this week we're going to actually change it up a little bit. We're going to actually come right off the gate swinging dynamically. So we are going to start off with jump squats. We have 4 sets for 10 reps of jump squats. Big thing I want you to focus on here is absorbing with the hips and using the whole body from our ankles, calves, hamstrings, quads, hips to get up off the ground. Then we're going to go right into chair taps. We have 4 sets for 20 reps. I really wanted to be challenging, so a chair would be challenging. A chair is about 20 inches off the ground, somewhere between 17 and 20 inches off the ground. We do have 20 per foot, 20 taps per foot. Here we're just trying to work on getting our hip flexors to activate and get it to a deeper range of motion. Up next, we're going to go into an elevated step back. So here we're going to go into a quarter squat, really loading those hips, bracing that core, and we're just stepping back. But obviously, we're not going to get on the ground. We're standing on the chair, and we're just going to step back. Big thing here is working on hip stability in space. So trying to keep those hips, if they dip together, or really I would love for you to just keep those hips in a nice stationary position, level, and then dropping that foot back. You should really feel that glute and hamstring firing at all times, because I want you to go nice and slow, really stepping back as if you're going to step back on the ground. 20 per leg is what we're aiming for here. Then right after this, we're going to go into another set of jump squats. So the way this is set up is 4 sets. So we have 4 total sets of each, but we're going to rotate between all 3 exercises. So after those jump squats, we go right back into chair taps. And again, it's 20 reps of chair taps. Again, big thing here is working those hip flexors, really being dynamic, right? Really having to get that foot off the ground, really trying to pop that thigh up off the ground. I want you to keep your chin up, head up as much as possible. Then again, some backside or posterior chain stability with the elevated step backs. Again, you have 20. So again, you have 4 total sets of these. We just completed our second set, so we have 2 more sets of these. Again, also I want you to keep the tempo consistent throughout all 4 sets. Try to get through all of it unbroken if you can. If not, that's fine. As always, take a 20-second break after that third exercise, which is the elevated step back. Keep that tailbone tucked as well as you're doing that. Up next, we're going to go right into weighted step-ups. So we've done step-ups before, but now we're going to go adding weight. Make sure the weight is even on both sides. We have 3 sets, 10 reps each. So we're just stepping up, boom, and we're also flexing that knee up as well. So we're keeping that one foot on the ground. And the big thing here that we're trying to do is we're really getting that entire range of motion throughout the hip complex, as well as emphasizing what we just finished, which is popping that thigh up, working that hip flexor. So make sure as we're coming down, we're also coming down nice and soft. We're using that hamstring to slow us down. And again, so we have to hit both sides. So it is 10 reps per side. We're still using that chair if possible, or anything that's elevated. About somewhere between 17, 20 inches is high enough. Anything higher than that, you can go for it. But right now, we're just going at max 20 inches high. Again, keep that chin to chest as much as possible, bracing that core, and again, popping that thigh up. Again, we're working that full range of motion throughout the hip, which is going to be very important for what is coming up later on in our speed session. Also, again, try to be consistent, and again, try not to slam yourself back down to the ground. After we've completed 10 of each, you can take up to 20 seconds rest between sets if need be. Remember, go at your own pace because your pace is fine. Now we'll just go right back into it, and again, just try to stay consistent. As I stated earlier, alternate sides. Really try to pop that thigh up as high as we can. Also try to keep that ankle at a 90-degree angle as well. 3 sets, 10 reps each side. All right, let's go ahead and hit the deck. We're going to go right into weighted sit-ups. We're going to just use one weight on the weighted sit-ups, holding it with both hands, and I really want you to go for speed, right? As soon as those shoulders hit the ground, we should be popping right back up. We're focusing on our athletic build. Right after that, we're going to take our right leg, right over left leg, and we're going to go right into a cross oblique crunch. Big thing here, obviously we're just working the size of our core, and we're just really trying to have our knuckles up towards the ceiling, punching through the ceiling, and just getting up off the ground, right? Also trying to keep our feet planted on the ground as well. Really having to focus on that oblique and getting it to really activate. Right after that, we are going to go right back into our weighted sit-ups. And again, speed is the name of the game. We're going to go right back into it. Those weighted sit-ups. Really pushing the pace, really trying to empty that tank, really trying to finish strong, right? Stronger core means a better performance. Right after we finish our weighted sit-ups, we're going to take left over right, and we're just rinsing and repeating. We're just hitting the other side this time. Again, trying to keep that weight in the same position so that shoulder is stable. Keeping it stabilized and just really trying to focus on that oblique crunch. Well, a lot of shoulder stabilization as well. After we complete that side, we're going to go right back into it, our weighted setup. So as you can see how this goes, we're alternating. We do weighted setups and then we alternate into one side or the other of the cross oblique crunches. But keep the tempo, keep the pace, keep pushing because we're trying to build our athleticism overall. All right, welcome to our speed session of Take Flight Week 4. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our right foot on the ground. We can have a little bit of, you can have our hip tucked under. We're going to actually drive our knee over our toes, chin to chest, and all we're focusing on is that first step. So we're combining everything we've done to this point and putting it all together. So we're really leaning, tailbones tucked, shoulders back, chin to chest, knee over toes, and we're using everything and we're just focusing on that first step, trying to be explosive in that first step. We're working on that entire range of motion in that first step to work out any kinks or see where there may be any areas of opportunity in that entire range of motion in the hip. If we're limited in our hip, if we're also in this position, we're also working on our ankle range of motion as well. If there's any areas of opportunity in any of those, they will come out doing this exercise. Again, big thing here is we're not focusing on how fast we're going, as that's coming through all of our exercises and our runs. Big thing we're looking for here is just looking for those areas of opportunity. Is it the hip? Is it the ankle? Is it a combination of both? Is it the shoulders? Where is it in that chain that won't let us be as explosive as we possibly can be? Again, it will come out after performing this exercise. And again, we're going to hit it on both sides. So we're going to start with our right leg. And as you can see, now I've transitioned over to my left, pushing the knee over the toes. And again, just Really trying to be as explosive as I can be. Up next, we're going to work on our drop squats. So legs are going to be hip width apart, and all we're going to do is be on the balls of our feet, and we're dropping down, driving those knees, really catching ourselves with our hips, and working on and seeing where the areas of opportunity lie in our overall hip, ankle, knee, shoulder, spine stability. As we're coming down as fast as we possibly can under our own body weight, again, we're trying to catch ourselves. After having both feet, then we're going to actually switch it up, and we're going to come down on just the left foot. We can tap, as you can see I did. And the big thing here is we want to load the hips. If we're too far forward, then obviously we're going to roll forward. So we want to really make sure we load the hips, hold it for about 1 to 2 seconds as we're snapping it down. Right? Big thing here, do not overload the knee. We're trying to load those hips. Load those hips, load that core, load everything we've been doing prior to this exercise. Now, after we've completed a few sets on the left, then we're going to complete a few sets on the right. Again, when we're snapping it down, if we need to, we can use our left foot to tap and gain our balance. But again, we're going to come down on both feet. Come down on our right foot just for a few reps. Now we're going to actually do drop squat split stand. So we're just dropping down into a reverse lunge pretty much. So hands up, so on the balls of our feet, boom, snap back, and we're just coming down into that split stance. Again, this week we're really focusing on stability, being dynamic, but also being stable through being dynamic. So dropping down a few times with our left leg back, and then obviously dropping down and having our right leg back. So same thing, just opposite side, but really snapping it down, snapping it back.